And Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell joins us now from TCOPC. Round of applause for the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, please. Kevin O'Connell, who can see us and we can't see him, but that's okay. It's the Toys for Tots drive here annually at Shields. And you are a person that is very generous with your time, very generous with your means. So days like this, especially for kids, I would imagine it resonates with you. And good morning.
Good morning, and hello to everybody out there. And just wanted to, highlight Toys for Tots and some of our players being out there today. We've got one of the best groups, I believe, in the whole NFL of giving their time, giving their energy, giving their joy back to the great community, not only here in the Twin Cities, but in many of the cities that our players come from around the country. And I know how much it means to those guys that are going to be there today, and just how great of a cause that is for so many folks this time of year. To bring joy to anybody's face, anybody's life is a special, special thing, and it's not lost on any of us. So sorry I couldn't be there. Wanted to try to make it out there, but as you can imagine, we are hard at work here at TCO.
Kevin O'Connell the Vikings face the 3-9 Washington Commanders here Sunday at noon on FM 100.3 KFAN. And this is a Toys for Tots drive, so we have opted to have some tots, some kids, ask Kevin O'Connell some questions. An opportunity to chat with head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Come on up here, Connor. And they got excited about it. The first one, your name is Connor. Where are you from?
Arlington.
Arlington, okay. Look right there. The head coach is on the other side of the camera. That's Paige Yeager from the VEN waving at you. And what is your question for head coach Kevin O'Connell?
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Connor, that is a great question. I think it would be, for me, it would be being able to be two places at one time. Be able to be, with my family here at the Vikings training facility every single day like I am, but also to be able to be home with my kids. I've got 4 of them. A couple of them actually don't look all that different from you in age, and they wear their purple Vikings jerseys on Sunday to the games just like you. I see you there in the Justin Jefferson, looking sharp, my man. But that would be it, to be at multiple places at once and be able to be all in wherever you are. Would be my would be in the superpower, but it would also allow me to maybe be in the meeting rooms of our opponents and find out the game plans they may be using against us ahead of time, and use that to our advantage would be another reason. But great question, Connor.
Yep. Hey, Connor, high five, man. Round of applause for Connor from Arlington. Come on up here, Jacob. Toys for Tots. So we got takes from Tots, so to speak, for the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, Kevin O'Connell. Jacob, where are you from?
Burnsville.
And what's your question for KO?
If you could play golf with 3 other people, who would it be and why?
Ooh,
man. Well, unfortunately, PA would not be one of those people. They're sitting next to you.
The distraction known as the kids. I mean, not the distraction, the kids.
That's right. But Jacob, I would say one of them would have to be Tiger Woods. I would just want to see what that looks like, getting to play next to him. And then, believe it or not, I would probably want my 2 boys, Caden and Colton, to join me out there. Even though Caden's getting pretty close to being able to beat me every time we play, having him out there and Colton as well. I've got a 6-year-old and a 11-year-old, and like I said, that would be the group there. Us 3 and Tiger Woods sounds pretty fun, doesn't it?
Well, let me turn it on you. If you could golf with any 2 people, Jacob, who would it be?
Probably Tiger Woods,
yeah,
for sure.
And
probably Kevin O'Connell.
Hey, how about that?
You haven't seen me golf, Jacob. You haven't seen me golf.
Actually, he has. That's why he wants to play with you.
Oh, there you go.
Jacob from Minnetonka, thank you. On up here, Charlie, last one. Takes from Tots, Toys for Tots. Charlie, where are you from?
Woodbury.
Woodbury. What's your question for Kevin O'Connell?
My question is just that the past few weeks have not gone our way, and I was just wondering, what are you telling the guys, and what's the game plan for coming into this week, next week?
Ooh, we're getting in the weeds.
Yeah, good question. So, a lot of the struggles, and we are certainly in a tough time right now. We have not won a game in far too long, and we've gotten used to around here winning games. So what I've been really challenging the guys to do is stay the course, continue to show that we're willing and capable of playing extremely hard, working throughout the week, putting together great game plans, getting these players to understand what they've built here culturally can't just be something we endorse and ring the bell about when we're winning. It's more important to be able to show what we're all made of in these moments where things are tough. Vikings fans want to see their team have success, and we want to bring that energy and that juice to U.S. Bank Stadium this week, and we're playing against a team that also is looking to win a football game and desperately needs to as well. So we're both going to be laying it all on the line, and hopefully we can put together a great game plan for our team, offense, defense, and special teams, and go play a good game of complementary football, which we have not done lately. And we're learning and seeing in the real time. When you do a lot of things that lose football games, you really don't give yourself a chance to win them. And we've got to get back to doing the things that win football games, which over the course of my time here, we know what that looks like, but we've got to make it happen. And talking about it outside of that great question from you is not going to do much to do it. So we've got to get to work and continue to step forward, step together, and make sure that the best parts of this organization come out when needed, which is now.
Charlie, ladies and gentlemen, high five, bud. Great job with that question. Good job, Charlie. You guys can watch all of that back at Vikings.com later. Our final question, a take from a tot. Our tot is Eric from Chaska. Eric from Chaska. This child has the final question. What's your question, Eric?
Well, Coach, as you talk about trying to improve, 41-year-old tot from Chaska. Coach, amidst some of the negative things, talking about putting things back together, 5 games less in this season, how do you balance out trying to win games or parse through wins and losses with really cherishing the successes and the growth that your team has seen over the course of 2025?
Yeah, that's a great question, Eric, and hopefully you get your hands on a toy or two today as well. But no, I think the way I look at it right now is, although we are putting everything we have into going 1-0 this week, finding a way to win a game, bring some joy back to our locker room, and most importantly to our fans at U.S. Bank Stadium this Sunday. But in the midst of the struggle, in the midst of this journey we've been on with some bumps in the road, no question, I do believe you can be building and forging something that can be built well into the future of, we can remember these moments. We can remember who and what it felt like and it looked like when we were all in these moments, and this team continued to stay together. This team continued, even without the results, to be about the things that we say we're about in our locker room, all while knowing we've got to improve the football. We've got to get the football right. We've got to play games the certain ways that when we look back on the moments that we came out of this stretch, hopefully in a positive way, I think we'll be able to build on that and look back on this when adversity inevitably hits down the road. We'll remember these moments and how we dealt with these moments. Because obviously, the spirit and the culture that exists in the drought will only be enhanced in the harvest. I tell our team that all the time, and we've got to be able to look inward right now, and it's not easy to do. It's very easy to find that exit ramp and look the other way, but not this group, not any team I ever coach.
Now, Kevin, in 2017 to 2019, was with Washington. And in fact, in 2019, it was his first opportunity as an offensive coordinator. And 2019, Kevin, in looking at the current iteration of Washington football, now called the Commanders, they have a current defensive lineman named Deron Payne and a punter named Tress Way, who were there with Kevin back either 17, 18, or 19. I think Tress Way was there before he got there. I just, Harrison Smith would be an example here. I just think it's really cool and unique. It certainly is unique, but it's cool when players play with one team all of their careers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. And those two guys, Deron Payne was there I believe his rookie year may have been my last year there, and we felt his impact immediately. We felt he was going to be the player that he's become, which is an impact defensive lineman, no doubt on all three downs. And then Tress Way might be, over the course of the last 10 years in the NFL, maybe longer, might be the best punter in football. Tremendous guy, locker room guy, beloved in that organization. And much like Harrison Smith, I think players of that caliber that are able to stay with a team and play in front of the same fan base for their whole careers, I think in a day and age where it's becoming more and more popular, even at the lower levels of football, to change schools, go to a different place, change jobs, go here, go there, I still think there is such value in building a relationship and rapport with such great fans like we have here in Minnesota. And I think that matters to Harrison Smith. I think it's always mattered to him, and I think it's why he takes so much pride in putting on the purple every week and going to play in front of our great fans. And what a career he's had. And like I said, I think it should be celebrated when players do those things and do it at such a high level in front of the same fan base for the same team for the better parts of their whole careers.
Yeah, I love how you laid it out, and I'm glad you laid it out that way, because to do that requires not having wanderlust. And, if people want to make what's best for them or best for them and their families, and they feel it's elsewhere, I'm not negative on that. I understand that too. But, sometimes, and Kevin has seen 1,000 times more stuff than I and we ever will see, but nevertheless, it requires sometimes taking less than you want, but placing quality of life for yourself or your families first. And not everybody is in lockstep with that, but that's part of the requirement when you stay one place, and it also fortifies the village, right, Kevin?
It does. You become such a foundational piece to build around, and somebody that Harrison, speaking of seeing it all, Harrison's been through just about everything as a Minnesota Viking. So for a head coach like me with a team right now where we've fallen on some very difficult circumstances and times where we need to go get a win, this isn't Harrison's first time going through a tough stretch. This isn't his first time seeing what the locker room is really made of during these moments, and it happens to be he's got a big gold C on his chest for a reason. So he's one of those players that not only do I rely on, but I know our whole team relies on in these moments to continue to press onward and upward and do everything for this week and any week we get gifted to go compete. Let's make it a good one. Let's put a heck of a plan together, and let's go 1-0 this week.
Now, Kevin has been here longer than any place else in his career from a coaching standpoint. How taxing has this season been on you and your staff, Kevin?
Yeah, it's been difficult. They're always hard, PA, and that's the one thing I've shared with you in this very radio studio on your show is you do this long enough and you start realizing exactly what the wins really mean. But it's more so the life of a coach is the wins are very quickly. You move on very quickly from those because you know the next challenge is coming, and you don't really get the same enjoyment out of the wins that maybe you once did when you know the totality of this. But I can tell you the losses, there's not a Sunday where a loss comes our way that it doesn't hit me incredibly hard, and it's the same goes for our staff. And we want so badly to see our players experience success and with the way they work and what they put into this. Nothing is given in this league. It is hard to win. We've learned that firsthand this year. It's not something we could come to expect. It's something that we've got to know the work that it takes, no matter what, to try to go get a win every week in the NFL. But I will say this: this season, although it's been very difficult, it's been trying. It's challenged a lot of players and coaches alike in this building. I've been incredibly proud of the fight. Where we've been at each and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to restart weeks, and then what it looks like on the practice field to continue to fight and battle and continue to try to improve because we're on our way. I can't tell you when it's going to be, but we're on our way to getting to where we want to get to as an organization, and sometimes there's temporary pitfalls along the way that if you allow those to inevitably tarnish your ability to go get ultimately the end goal done, whether that's in the near future or in the future to come, then shame on all of us for not being about what we say we're about, and that's not something that I will ever allow happen in this organization while I get to be the leader of it.
And after the Seattle game, you said something fascinating about Max Brosmer. So I'm just going to lay it out like this. Because we all know, because we all watch or listen to the games, there are two young quarterbacks on whom Kevin and the team are relying. So the young quarterbacks, one sometimes has seen it, sometimes a beat slowly, the other a little too quickly. They both generally do it well in practice up to the games. So how do you get it to work the way you and they want it to work during the games?
Well, I think we simulate as best as we can on the practice field, simulate what it's going to feel like for them, what the timing and rhythm of things are going to be. But you also tend to learn some things on a Sunday. And as a young quarterback, both of our guys who, both JJ and Max this past Sunday, we've seen the inevitable impact of the speed, the physicality, the difficulties of navigating an NFL game for a quarterback. It's why it's the hardest position in sports, because so many things, so many variables, both with the guys wearing the same uniform as you, but most importantly, the guys on the other side of the ball, can have an impact on you snap to snap. And in Max's case, I think I mentioned it after the game. He was, inevitably when the game starts to speed up, and it was his first time, what a challenge. I mean, being at Seattle in that environment against one of the best defenses in the league, he got a little sped up at times, and he's already a quick processor. So when a quick processor gets sped up, well, you can get through reads a little quick sometimes. You can maybe, not be as accurate as you want, either anticipating a throw or throwing a ball out to the boundary on a third down to Jordan Addison. All these throws that if you go back and watch the tape, and I did with Max of the week of practice where he made those throws and we threw and caught those balls. I wanted to show that to him because it was a message of everything that took place Sunday, what you felt, how you reacted to things, even when you didn't want to allow the game to impact you in a way, it still did. I wanted him to know that that's normal, that what took place there and some of the trials and tribulations that he went through in an NFL game against a really good team on Sunday, it can be an incredible growth moment for him. And although he's disappointed the result wasn't what he wanted, I sure hope he bottles up a lot of that experience for the next time he gets an opportunity and he can apply it at that point and be better for it. And that's ultimately how young quarterbacks grow and get better in this league.
Is, in your estimation, Kevin, is Dallas Turner turning a corner to potentially becoming a big-timer?
Well, I'll tell you, he had one of his best games this past Sunday. And obviously the stat sheet is always what I know a lot of folks look at. But to me, especially with a player like Dallas, the eye test of just what it felt like watching him play with such speed, his athleticism on display, physicality. I mean, he was all over the field, sideline to sideline. Great pass rush when he got his ops, especially in some of those one-on-one opportunities. Was just a physical force throughout the game, and you saw it in a lot of different ways, and that's why we were so excited to bring Dallas here, and I think he's getting better and better. And after a couple, really nice performances here of late, my challenge to him and to himself, I know, from Dallas himself is consistency now. Be that guy every single week. Be a force for our defense. Be a force for Flo and that defensive staff to be able to turn him loose. And I think we're going to see more and more playmaking out of Dallas Turner here over the final 5 games of our regular season.
Yeah, you credited punter Ryan Wright in your press conference yesterday, and rightfully so. But frustrating as it may be to hear right now, he and the kicker, Will Reichard, I mean, they're super important during a season like this, right?
Yeah, I think anytime you're not having the type of production as an offense that really we've had for the better part of 3 years coming into this season, we've really never had to play too many games where field position was so important, flipping the field when you're backed up or pinning somebody deep to allow our defense to be able to defend 90-plus yards of grass to keep people out of the end zone. The kicking game has, there's been some moments where our special teams have had one or two plays where they've been catastrophically impactful on the game. But for the better part of the whole season, I think our coverage units have been very good. Will Reichert's been outstanding, like you said. The 59-yarder at Green Bay was one of the more impressive kicks I've seen. And then Ryan Wright has had his best year. He's been consistent. It's not just the hang time. It's not just the distance. It's the location. It's really playing almost a pitch and catch game with our gunners. Tavier Thomas and Ty Fleming have both been just absolutely lights out, winning versus double teams, single blocks out there. And it's all come together in ways that have helped us try to navigate some of these choppy waters offensively, because it gives our defense a chance to then impose their will and see if we can get these games to the fourth quarter and have a chance to win them in the end. And we've got to do a lot more things better in other aspects of our team. But there's no question that Ryan and Will have been phenomenal for us.
Last couple here for Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. This is every Tuesday on KFAN and Vikings.com. It's called X's and O's, and Kevin is very gracious with his time each and every Tuesday. Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle, is so vital to the success of your offense. Does much of what you want to when he doesn't play, does much have to change?
Yeah, I think you just end up, having to make some sacrifices to some scheme, some different aspects of how you're going to try to protect, especially against, specifically in regards to last Sunday. I mean, you're playing against, if not the best defensive front across the board. They're right up there with some of Green Bay we played the previous week. And what happens is you've got to make some sacrifices to try to help who's ever stepping in this case, Justin School there on the left side, try to help him as best we can. Maybe that, mitigates the impact that TJ Hawkinson can have as a, rhythm part of our pass game. And although TJ eventually made his impact on the game, it was not without risk of trying to maybe not do everything we could always for the sake of protection. You're trying to activate as many eligibles as you can. Christian Darrisaw is a force in the run game. You get him and Josh Oliver working together over on that left side. We've had some real impactful plays this year in the run game behind those guys. So you just look at it. He's one of our best players. There's a reason why those franchise caliber left tackles aren't on every roster in the National Football League, and the loss of those players is felt not only last year, when we were able to overcome it, winning a lot of games without CD once he went down in the fifth game. It's been a little bit more difficult for us this year to just kind of overcome just the ebbs and flows of CD's recovery as he's been able to come back and be on the field, but just not to the level at which we all have come to expect, just because of the natural progression of that rehab process. And he's getting better and better every week. He's going to have a good week this week, and we're absolutely hopeful, CD himself included in that, that he'll be out there in the 71 jersey at left tackle this weekend.
I mentioned Dallas Turner. Your defense had Darnold all messed up pretty much the entire game Sunday. When you graded the defensive performance outside of Darrisaw, what did you see? I mean, outside of Dallas Turner, what did you see?
Yeah, I think what I saw was great disguise. They were doing a lot of things to try to cause some confusion pre-snap for not only Sam, but the play caller there and the rest of the guys on the offensive team there for the Seahawks. There was great disguise. And then there was a play style there that, encompassed, we wanted to be a good tackling team. And I thought they were on the field a lot. They were on the field too much and maybe wore down a little bit as the game went on, but they continued to find a way to force some of those third downs where there was potential for the ball to get turned over and give us a chance to get back in the game. There was a chance to make some impactful plays, not only by Dallas. Eric Wilson had a very nice game. Blake Cashman. We saw Van Ginkel continue to impact the game. Doesn't always do it in the stat sheet where people can see it, but he's so impactful. Getting Jonathan Grenard back, I think he played 15 snaps, is obviously huge as one of our best players. And then how about a guy like Jay Ward stepping in and bringing a physicality and a level of play style and tackling to that corner position. Flo and his staff have come up with ways to get Jay Ward on the field, which I love because I love watching just the way Jay Ward plays football. Now, he does it on the kicking game, but now we're starting to see it a little bit on the defensive side.
Yeah, so Rodgers comes out for a few plays. In comes Jay Ward. I mean, just welcome to the show, man. As a corner, you're opposite Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. And, defense is disguised so beautifully, it initially looks like, wow, that might be one-on-one. Then of course, there's a little help, but I think they would call that baptism by fire. Yeah, Jay's giving you some good reps this year. Lastly, football being the ultimate team game, it's very difficult, at least for me, to hone in on one thing and say, this is the most important thing. But arguably, Kevin, is the single most important thing with the 2025 Minnesota Vikings moving forward, the improvement and maturation of J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I just think it's the quarterback position and the ability to play at a consistent level that allows the other guys to have an impact on the game. Everything goes through the quarterback position, and we've seen some moments. You go back through our season, you see some moments where JJ gets in a great rhythm, and we're able to really see the fruits of the special players we have on our offense, like Justin and Jordan and TJ and Jalen Naylor, and I think just the consistency factor of not only JJ doing his job, but the detail of everybody around him, the ability to make sure we're limiting any and all self-inflicted causes that either eliminate our chances for success on a given play, sequencing of a play on a drive, a critical 3rd and 2. Can we get 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4? Can we get all 11 guys doing their job and find a way to get those new set of downs, and then see if we can stack more positive plays on that? All well, this, PA, as well as anybody, we've got to try to find a way to generate some of those explosive plays that help you not have to drive it 12, 13, 14 plays every time you touch it. And it's been kind of a hallmark of our offense over the course of our time here, even when maybe we've hit a stretch during a game where we don't consistently have positive plays. We've been able to overcome it by generating those 7 to 10 explosive type plays in the game that either flip the field, put you in the scoring zone, or ultimately provide the lift needed to then stack whatever's required to go get a win. And even if that's coming from behind, a fourth quarter comeback, one-score games that we've been pretty successful at, those plays are just something that we've lacked and we haven't had enough of this year. And the continued growth and development of JJ coming back, hopefully with a full week of practice this week, will be a real positive, and I can't wait to watch him play.
When you're 4-8, as you know, there's a lot of noise all over the place. Speaking for the 100 or so here, specifically the kids and the families with whom I've chatted, Nordo and yours truly, ma'am, they all love and they all care, and they want you to win every single game, and will be pulling for you and the team hard this weekend. Thank you, Kevin. Have a great day. Kevin O'Connell.
Appreciate you guys, man. We got the best fans in the world. Thanks, PA.
Indeed. Have a good day, man.